Right now at 6, police are sharing more information about a crash in Greene County involving a semi and an SUV full of basketball fans on their way to the state girls tournament in Green Bay.
And tributes are pouring in honor of the sheriff's deputy killed during a shooting in Rockford.
Plus, a reminder for drivers after a string of thefts involving those parking in underground spaces.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us. We know some people remain in the hospital tonight after a crash between an SUV and a semi on Highway 69 this morning.
10 people were hurt, 9 of them riding in an SUV heading to support their hometown high school's basketball team in the state tournament. Madison O'Neill has more from Greene County.
Highway 69 has been closed for hours as officials clear the scene and investigate the crash that left 10 people in the hospital.
A semi versus van crash. The van is on its side and there are multiple people injured in the van.
A group's trip to support their local high school girls basketball team is cut short.
We're also requesting Monticello squad, please.
Officials say Friday morning, an SUV driven by 54-year-old Gerald Hyman and 8 passengers, including 6 children, all from rural Lafayette County, were heading north on Highway 69 to Green Bay. Like much of South Wayne, they were planning to watch the Black Hawk girls basketball team at the state tournament. But at about 5:45 a.m. between Monticello and New Glarus, the driver slowed down, trying to avoid a group of deer.
Semi that was also northbound behind them collided with the back of their SUV, forcing them off the road into the ditch.
Greene County Sheriff Jeff Scatroot says at least 10 ambulances were on scene, taking the 9 people in the SUV and the semi-truck driver Kurt Hardy to the hospital.
The challenges of that are huge and infrequent. So the training that they've had and their experience sure showed today.
Scatroot says the SUV was big enough to properly hold 9 people, but 2 of the children weren't wearing safety belts. Investigations show no indications of alcohol use or distracted driving, and no citations have been issued. Now, all that's left to do is wait.
Thoughts are with them, and hopefully they'll do well.
We know no one was taken by med flight to a hospital, but we don't know the conditions of anyone being treated. Reporting in Greene County, Madison O'Neill, News 3 Now.
Again, we are told some victims are still in the hospital. Others have already been released, including the semi-driver. Highway 69 is open again after being closed for about 8 hours earlier today.
Well, pretty decent day out there today. You get the sense weather's at least trying to move in a more seasonal direction. Gary has our first alert forecast. Gary?
Well, it certainly couldn't get any worse than it's been about over the last 6 weeks, but today was one of those nicer days where temperatures were in the mid-30s. We had lots of sunshine, and it just felt pretty nice. But tomorrow, things will change. Let's start out by taking a look. An alert day that we have in the forecast for tomorrow. We'll see a mixture of snow, freezing rain, and rain tomorrow morning. That'll change to rain from Madison southward. The mixed precipitation in areas north of Madison could mix with some snow before ending late tomorrow night into early on Sunday. Now, visible cloud track, very quiet across southern Wisconsin. As we take a look at Doppler track, you can see very little in the way of precipitation. A few flurries up near Lake Superior, but that will change for tomorrow. As we check out the low temperatures this morning, here in Madison, we dropped to 11. It's actually in the upper single digits yesterday evening before temperatures started to rise overnight. North of Madison, though, where skies stayed clear, temperatures were below 0. High temperatures today generally in the middle to upper 30s. Madison topped out at 36. Black River Falls was up to 42. La Crosse is at 39. And current temperatures are still just above freezing in the lower to middle 30s across much of southern Wisconsin. But tomorrow morning, skies will turn cloudy. Temperatures will drop into the low to mid 20s. We'll see a mixture of rain, freezing rain, and snow tomorrow morning, changing to rain in the afternoon. Our high temperature topping out at 38. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. Police will be honoring a fallen officer tonight killed during yesterday's shooting in Rockford. They will be escorting the body of Sheriff's Deputy Jacob Keltner from the Winnebago County Coroner's Office back to McHenry County. Deputy Keltner served McHenry County for 12 years and was acting on behalf of the U.S. Marshal's Office during yesterday's shooting. A procession was also held last night as his body was taken from the hospital to the coroner's office. Deputy Keltner leaves behind a wife and 2 children. The man accused of firing the shot that killed him and caused an hours-long standoff with police on Interstate 55 in central Illinois is expected in court on Monday. According to CBS Chicago, Floyd Brown's scheduled initial hearing in federal court was postponed today because he's not yet been transferred to Rockford from where he's being held in central Illinois. We'll have an update from that hearing on channel3000.com.
A man will spend 14 years in prison for a little boy's death. 24-year-old Eric Salazar Mota was sentenced today. He and 3 other men have been convicted in the death of Austin Ramos Jr. The 5-year-old was hit in the crossfire of a drive-by shooting. It's believed his father, the driver of the car, was the intended target. Mota joins Sergio Ortiz, who was sentenced to 40 years in prison this past November. Car break-ins are a known problem in our community.
But now thieves looking to hide from the cold like the rest of us have moved underground. Our Keely Arthur joins us now to explain. Keely?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, Madison Police Department crime analysts have noticed a big uptick in burglaries in which underground parking garages are being targeted.
It's a place to keep your car out of the cold and now a nice cozy spot for criminals to carry out theft.
These things are happening a lot of times on weekends, particularly in our West District. So if you live in an apartment building, you have an underground parking garage, just be vigilant.
Madison Police Department crime analysts have noticed a big uptick in burglaries in which underground parking garages are being targeted. Criminals sneak inside overnight on the weekends, break vehicle windows, and then steal items. Nearly 25 cases have been reported since the start of this year.
Keep the doors locked and shut to the parking garage. Keep the doors to your car locked, and don't leave valuables inside your car if you possibly can help it.
The latest happened last Sunday morning at a complex off Harbortown Drive. Madison Police Public Information Officer Joel Despain says the more typical car break-ins we see in the city involving renting cars and unlocked doors out in the open have declined. He credits that to recent arrests. No arrests, however, have been made involving these underground garage thefts.
Once we identify them and arrest them, a lot of times these numbers drop off.
Now, the most frequently stolen item, backpacks. If you see anything suspicious, of course, contact Madison Police.
Keely, thank you. The Village of DeForest swears in a new police chief today. Jim Olson will start on Monday. He worked for the Milwaukee Police Department for 29 years. Olson's hiring comes 6 months after the former police chief Daniel Furseth resigned when a racist YouTube video resurfaced.
Milwaukee city leaders are waiting to hear if the city was chosen to host the 2020 Democratic National Convention. The DNC chairman was supposed to make that decision by the end of last month. Governor Evers also wants to know what's going on so he can start planning. Philip Levine, the co-chairman fighting for Miami to win, told Politico it's an unwarranted delay that will cause problems with logistics and bills for whichever city is selected. Houston is also in the running. Groups advocating to keep e-cigarettes away from teenagers say the plan to impose a new tax on the products is a step in the right direction. Governor Evers' budget proposal recommends a 71% tax on all e-cigarettes and vaping products. But the general manager of Knuckleheads Tobacco and Vape Club says the tax could hurt small businesses that sell e-cigarettes.
Customers are either going to start paying a lot more for vapor supplies, or they're going to start buying cigarettes from gas stations again.
What we've seen over the last couple of years is a drastic increase in use in our high school students. And as we've learned with tobacco use, the tax kind of does effectively work to curtail that.
According to the state's Department of Health Services, last year, 20% of Wisconsin high schoolers were using e-cigarettes. Knuckleheads employees say every customer's ID is scanned and they will not sell anything to anyone under 18.
A spokesperson for Governor Evers says his administration will not force wedding barns to obtain liquor licenses. Former Attorney General Brad Schimmel threw wedding barns' future into question with an informal opinion last fall, saying private events in public spaces require liquor licenses. State law does not define public spaces, however, and 2 farmers who run wedding barns have sued to ensure they don't need liquor licenses. There's a new place to stay for visitors in Sun Prairie. The Bear House Boutique Hotel is now open. Its opening date was pushed back after this summer's deadly gas explosion. The building's foundation was actually cracked during that explosion, and the owner's office next door was destroyed. The hotel is located downtown on Main Street.
A cheese from Ohio has captured the top spot at the U.S. Championship Cheese Contest in Wisconsin. The Baby Swiss is made by Guggisberg Cheese in Millersburg, Ohio. It barely beat a Gouda made by Marieke Penterman in Thorpe, who won the contest in 2013. The event in Green Bay is considered the largest technical cheese, butter, and yogurt competition in the country. Entries came from 35 states, and they're judged on things like flavor, texture, and packaging. There were more than 2,500 entries twice this year. A local woman is celebrating an anniversary of sorts.
She's counting her blessings and helping those in need. The good she's doing in our community. That's next. A News 3 Now at 6. Welcome back. The hospital generally isn't a place anyone wants to be.
But for one woman from Rockford, it's exactly where she was planning to be for months. Jamie Perez shows us why.
Emily Miller knows what it means to count your blessings.
I would consider her pretty lucky, actually.
Dr. Eric Tarula helped Emily when she was med-flighted to the UW hospital from Rockford after suffering a stroke at just 28 years old.
The good thing, though, like I could walk quickly.
That was a year ago. For her one-year anniversary, Emily is back at the hospital, but this time for a very different reason.
Hi. Hi. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yes.
A year ago today, I had a stroke.
Oh, dear.
And so I decided to give back to the hospital. I got like care packages and stuff.
Through donations from friends and family over the last year, Emily was able to put together dozens of care packages for families and patients who are stuck in the neuro ICU for days without basic essentials.
I just decided to do it. I want to say like June or July. I just said, hey, like, why not?
Emily spent 10 days here last year as doctors patched up a hole in her heart. Now that Emily is full of life again, she wanted to instill hope into others, even as she continues to count her blessings.
I'm definitely better. Last month I had a seizure, something that could happen like after a stroke. And so definitely like after that, it's just something good to do like for today.
Something good. Something hopeful.
It's always great when you have someone else that's gone through this, gone through the experience of this, and able to either talk to either patients themselves or family members. And giving back, I mean, what else could we ask for?
In Madison, I'm Jamie Perez.
She is a face of hope, and I think that's what most of the patients in our families need.
News 3 Now.
Bye.
Emily was able to give comfort care packages to about 40 patients and their families today.
Alert days are in our forecast as we prepare for some rain over the weekend.
Gary is talking about our chances next in his first alert forecast. Welcome back. When you set your clocks ahead this weekend, be sure to also test out the smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in your home.
Now, hundreds of Wisconsin residents go to the ER every year for carbon monoxide poisoning. It's recommended to have your furnace inspected every year by a professional. They say you should never run a gas, propane heater, or a grill inside your home or even the garage. Generators should be used at least 20 feet from your home. And experts remind us any heating system that burns fuel produces carbon monoxide, which is an increased concern this year.
Anytime furnaces are working overtime like they have been this season, it does increase the concerns about the possibility of carbon monoxide leaks in homes. So that makes it very important that people are certain that their carbon monoxide detectors are working.
National Fire Protection Association also reminds you to change batteries in all your detectors. 3 out of every 5 home fire deaths happen when a home either doesn't have smoke detectors or those detectors are not working properly.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now with a look at our forecast. Hi, Gary.
Hi, it actually felt pretty balmy out here today. Temperatures were in the middle 30s and we had bright sunshine. That's been pretty rare, especially over the last month and a half or so, but maybe we're starting to turn the corner a little bit. But we do have quiet conditions right now on Doppler track and no precipitation across southern Wisconsin. Skies are mainly clear. There's not much showing up around the upper Midwest, but that will change. By this time tomorrow, there'll be a lot of precipitation. A lot of different colors will be showing up on that radar in the form of some snow, some freezing rain, and some rain. Could even see some thunderstorms farther to the south into Illinois and Indiana. There are winter storm warnings already in effect from Eau Claire westward through the Twin Cities, through much of southern Minnesota and into the eastern Dakotas, with winter weather advisories to the south and east of that area. Winter storm watches are still in effect north and west of La Crosse. The latest computer model forecasts show potential for anywhere from 5 to maybe as much as 11 or 12 inches of snow from parts of the eastern Dakotas through northern Minnesota and into parts of northwestern Wisconsin. Just a little snow expected in the northern portion of our viewing area, maybe a couple of inches there. And as far as freezing rain is concerned, perhaps up to 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulation, again, mainly in the northern parts of our viewing area tomorrow into tomorrow evening before that changes over to light snow. There could be a little more significant ice accumulations farther to the west in Minnesota and Iowa. But rainfall generally is expected to be pretty persistent, about a 1/2 inch to maybe locally up to 1 inch of rain over southern Wisconsin. That coupled with melting snow and storm drains that might still be clogged with snow and ice could lead to ponding of water on the area roadways. So we do have an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow. I took it out for Sunday because it looks like everything will be winding down pretty late tomorrow night. But tomorrow we'll see a mixture of snow, freezing rain, and rain changing over to rain, especially from Madison southward. Our northern viewers might see that mix of precipitation continuing through the afternoon into the evening hours, and then that will change over to some light snow before ending early on Sunday morning. Live here from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Boy, it was a pretty sunset. Skies have been mainly clear. There's the WISC Skycam also looking out toward the west. You know, this time on Monday, you'll be seeing sunshine there because, at least as long as we don't have any clouds, just because we'll be on daylight saving time. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam also showing the Capitol lit up. Low this morning, 11 degrees. Our high temperature of 36, still not quite to normal, but within 3 degrees of average. And right now we're at 34 with partly cloudy skies, winds out of the south-southeast at 6 miles per hour. A very energetic jet stream continues across the Pacific Ocean into the west coast of North America and then basically cuts across the country and spinning up a storm in the southwestern part of the nation that'll be heading toward the Midwest over the next couple of days. Low pressure already developing out in Wyoming. Eventually it'll move east-northeastward and bring us that precipitation for tomorrow. So 23 for the overnight low temperature. Skies will become cloudy. That will just keep temperatures up so it won't be quite as cold. Tomorrow we'll look for a high of 38. We'll see a mixture of some snow, freezing rain, and rain, changing over to rain from Madison southward. You can see this on future track. Just cloudy skies for tonight. Temperatures dropping to the low 20s. Here comes that mix of precipitation tomorrow. Notice the northern parts of our viewing area, maybe a mix continuing, a rain from Madison southward. Then that changes over to light snow before ending early on Sunday morning. And Sunday we'll probably see some breaks in the clouds. Temperatures will stay in the mid-30s. Snowfall amounts, maybe a couple of inches in the northern parts of our viewing area, up to 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulation, but rainfall about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And then the 10-day forecast calls for a brief cool down for the early part of next week, maybe some thunderstorms about Wednesday, a little bit of a cool down toward the end of the week, and then a warm up toward the end of the following weekend.
Well, it's a good day for the girls basketball teams from our area at the state tournament. We're live from the Resch Center with highlights and post-game interviews. That's next in sports. Well, the WIA State Girls Basketball Tournament with a little bit of everything this year. For this morning and afternoon, 3 of our local teams trying to make an appearance in state title Saturday. Keeping track of all the action is our Jay Wilson. He joins us live from the Resch Center. Hey there, Jay.
Hi, Melissa. Good evening, everyone. Well, perhaps the biggest story of this year's Girls State Basketball Tournament is Beaver Dam's quest to win a 3rd straight Division II championship, and the Golden Beavers took another step toward that this afternoon as they defeated Hortonville in the semifinals. Now, how can you lose with Benny the Golden Beaver leading you out, huh? Beaver Dam put on another impressive show. Natalie Jens came off the bench, scored 9 points in the first half. Golden Beavers up 15 at half. And here's what UW recruit Tara Stoffaker can do. She scored only 4 points, but they really didn't need them. Beaver Dam rolled into the final with a 68-48 win over Hortonville. They are 1 step away from their 3rd straight title.
And right now we're just focused on playing one more last game this year and playing that one game as best as we possibly can. That's our focus. I mean, we really want to play our best basketball. And we're just striving all year, every single day, to become a better team. And that's going to be our attitude tomorrow.
It'll be an all-Badger Conference Division II final because Monroe beat Whitefish Bay in the other semi. UW recruit Sydney Hilliard had another great day. A little crossover dribble and a left-handed finish. And even when she missed a shot, it turned out okay. Offensive rebound, put back, and a foul. Hilliard had 25 points. Emily Benshaw had 19 to lead Monroe to a 59-47 win. And congratulations, you get to play Beaver Dam.
Have you wanted a shot at Beaver Dam?
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah, definitely. Why? Because they're so good. I think it kind of brings out a competitiveness in us. I think everyone wants a chance at Beaver Dam, but I think we can do it tomorrow if we believe.
In Division 5, Blackhawk, the state runners-up last year. The Warriors are back in the final again this year. Against Fall River, Blackhawk was fantastic. Kaylee Marty to Natalie Leitzinger. Leitzinger and Bailey Butler both had 18 points to lead Blackhawk. Hannah Butler added another 14. Blackhawk led 51-16 at halftime. They won 71-39.
We don't get a whole lot of second chances to get this. We worked really hard over the summer. I mean, we didn't even have a basketball court because our gym was getting redone, and we had to go to the community park. But our whole team is dedicated to this sport, and our goal was to get at least 1 gold ball in our high school career, and we're just thankful that we get another shot at it.
The Division I semifinals are just about to get started here just after 6:30 tonight. Middleton's going to have a tough test. They face the #1 seed Mukwonago. That'll be followed by Kimberly and Bateport as day 2 of the Girls State Basketball Tournament continues here at the Resch Center. Melissa, back to you in Madison.
All right, thanks so much, Jay. We appreciate it. Meanwhile, the Badgers women's basketball team already made history yesterday by becoming the first 13th seed in Big Ten women's basketball in the basketball tournament to advance out of the first round. But an even bigger challenge today, facing 4th-ranked Michigan. They had plenty of rest coming into today's game. Badgers with a 1-point lead at the half, and this was a fight till the very end. We pick it up in the 4th quarter. Wisconsin down 3. Kelly Carlis, so good from outside. She made it a tie game. The Badgers ended up losing this game in double overtime, 73-65, the final score. 4 of them scoring in double digits today, guys.
All right, Melissa, thank you very much, and thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
We'll see you back here at 10.